Hi guys. Just wanted to introduce you to Nicole. She has been on my IEP course, the Integral Energy Program, and she offered to give you some feedback so you can know what to expect. So I've prepared a few questions for her, and she's just gonna answer how she answers. It's been how long have you been on the course for, Nicole?
Think it's about 9 months, 9 or 10 months.
9 or 10 months, and already been through the intensive, so she's gone virtually the whole way there. Okay, so before joining, I've got all the questions written down here. Before joining the course, what was it? What was actually going on in your life or energy that made you realize something needed to change?
Okay, so I'm quite an impulsive person, and the true answer is I got a natal chart reading with an astrologer, and they looked at where all my planets were positioned, and they basically said, "You need to go for Kundalini awakening." So I'd gone to that astrologer to work out like what the next steps were in my life. And just to like give people some context, before that, I mean, I had literally the day before signing up with Skeed just finished a master's qualification in psychodynamic coaching, which is all like shadow work and emotions and somatic experiencing. So I was like, okay, what's next for me on this journey? And I did the natal reading on that day that I qualified my masters, and then the next day I signed up on the course with you. Like I booked really impulsively, like booked the call. And I think I signed up in the call, didn't I? Like in the discovery call. So
Virtually, I think
um
so.
so I think I was looking for that next thing, like what's the next progress for me? And yeah, and then Kundalini came up, but I didn't really know what I was signing up to even after the discovery call. I
I'm
was
always
very
there saying, "Do your independent research. Do." Nicole, no.
nah. Sources spoken, I listen. It's so funny because after I did that astrology thing, you just started popping up on my YouTube, and I had sent this intention out to the universe, which was like, give me someone who can help me awaken this safely. Because I've heard of the dangers of Kundalini awakening,
Hmm,
like dark night of the soul, psychosis, and all of that sort of stuff. So I was like, I want to be led by someone who's legit, not just in this for like the money or yeah, just like, ego or something. So,
yeah.
and I definitely feel like I chose the right thing. So, thank you, master.
Okay, so what were you expecting the course to be? Although you've already half answered that. And what surprised you once you actually started?
Yeah, I had no idea like what a Kundalini awakening would entail. And then by chance, I had been doing some of those things. Like I had been working on focusing on my chakras, and
Yeah,
shadow work has been obviously a big part of my journey, inner child reparenting, healing trauma. And I suppose the big exciting thing for me was that it was more about activation, because I was kind of getting a bit like healing fatigued, where I was
yeah,
like, oh, I feel like I've healed, but what's the thing? And that's what it gave me, was like the journey towards like activation rather than just going over the past and healing the past. It's much more forward focused. So that's what I loved about it. Was like it was a way that I could almost use some of the tools that I already had, plus learning lots of new ones that are really going to reinforce like a positive direction forward, rather than just ruminating on the past or working with the past and stuff like that.
yeah. Unfortunately, that happens all too much that people just go over and over and over, get stuck in a healing process rather than taking the next step and advancing.
Yeah, and it forms part of the identity as well. Like, oh, I'm on this healing journey. And it's like, no. If you see it as your healing journey, you're always going to be on that journey. You're never going to get off that journey and go on to the exciting one, which is the activation journey. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
actually waking up.
Yeah.
Okay, so was there any hesitation or any resistance before joining? And what made you move through it?
I don't think there was any hesitation or resistance because I am impulsive.
It was just, yeah,
It was just a yes. It was just like a solid yes. I was like, I had that chat with you. I think we chatted for like half an hour or something, and it was just like, this is the next step for me. Um, but I can see how like people might be resistant to it. I think there could be a lot of ego chatter around, is this right? Um, but that because I've done so much shadow work, that didn't really play into it for me. So I'm
yeah.
well aware of like resistance and moving through resistance. That's literally what I coach people through day in, day out. But yeah, so no, nothing for me.
Yeah, it tends to be one of those things. People that sort of find me is they've done a lot of the beginning work, a lot of that. They want to go further. They're not just looking to start the process. But
Yeah.
people have done, many years of work, and they want to take that step.
And that really shows by who all the people are in the group. So just like for people's awareness, like we all join a WhatsApp group, and then we have these group calls every 2 weeks, and all the other people on that call are like already in this world. So when you're there, you're already part of a community, and you don't feel like such a weirdo because like I couldn't talk about the stuff we do to like the kids and parents, like whatever at the nursery doorstep, like or my family. They just wouldn't get it. But in that group, it feels safe. It feels like we're all on this.
It becomes more, the abstract becomes normal, everyday, real stuff.
Yeah. And we all learn from each other. So my background is very much shadow work, and someone else's background was much more like martial arts and energy manipulation. So we've collaborated, and I've helped them more with shadow work, and they've helped me more with the energy. And it's just been like so lovely to have that community and that sharing of knowledge and resources. So that's been a big plus as well.
Awesome. Okay. So I think you've just answered the next question, but okay. Um, how did you actually fit the course? Well, not quite. How did you actually fit the course into day to day life? And what was that experience like in reality?
Like, if you're going to join this course, like for anyone who watches this, you have to want this.
Hmm.
And that's been shown, hasn't it, by like people that have joined it and they've not applied themselves. You've got to be putting time aside. I'm a mother, like, and I run my own business, like, and I've got a social life as well. So it's like I'm a busy person, but every single day, without a shadow of a doubt, half an hour to an hour, I'm sitting down, I'm working on my shadows, I'm working with the energy. And even outside of that 30-minute to 1 hour process, every single minute of the day, I'm like sitting on a bus and I'm connecting with the energies. I'm having a conversation with my daughter and looking at where I'm feeling emotional reactivity in me to go and work on that later by myself. So it's like, this is a lifetime practice. You don't join this if you're just in it for like, oh, well, I want someone to spoon feed me and not apply anything that I've watched or learned. So you have to want it. And then you will fit it into your life because you want it that badly. And if you don't want it, you won't do it. So for me, this what this gives me is worth more than sitting and watching telly for 2 hours in an evening. I'd rather sit on my meditating pillow and my meditation pillow, which I now have thanks to you. Because when you started saying I've got to sit for like hours, I was like, "Geez, man, I need to get I've got the little puffer and everything." So anyway, good investment that. But yeah, so um, that's what gives me joy is connecting with the energy, getting the insights, the downloads, then being able to use that with my clients in terms of helping them move through their resistance and blocks. Because now I'm obviously using this with my business in my business practice. So does that answer the question?
Yeah, I think so. I would also say there, it's you get a lot of people that think they have to go to exotic places to have these experiences, and they will do that, and they'll go, and it'll be a couple of weeks, and it's like, at the same time, why do you need to do that if you can have it, whether it's online or whether it's, okay, for the intensive you came over because we're both within Europe,
Yeah.
but it's you don't have to go to an exotic place and everything like that. It's
Well, I got something to add to that point, which is that I've been following another guru online for like years now, like maybe 5, 6, 7 years. And he's amazing. And he does run like an ashram in Costa Rica. And the whole time I'm like, how do I get out there? how do I do this? And, I'm sure the processes that we went through was quite similar to what he
Mm,
does because he talks about the chakras and ego and connecting with Shiva and Shakti and all of that good stuff.
mm.
But with being a mum, having a job, like it's not realistic for me to just cut 3 months of my life, live in an ashram. I'd be like, bye to
Yeah.
my child. So yeah, you can absolutely do this anywhere in the world as long as you're willing and you make the time.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, have clients literally from New Zealand all the way to Canada. It's yeah.
Yeah. And everything in between.
Was there a specific moment, session, or module where something really clicked or shifted for you?
The tantric work. I didn't know we were going to be doing tantric work, and the hilarious thing was I'd like looked into it very lightly about 6 years ago and got absolutely roasted by the person who I was with. So, like teased. So, if there's people that are not in the UK and they don't know what that means. Yeah, so I got completely like teased about it, and so I just kind of put it in a box. It was like, let's not go there. Um, but yeah, and then because it was Kundalini awakening, I didn't know we were going to be doing tantric work first. So like it's layered, right? So you work with the pranic energy, then the tantric, then the Kundalini, then light body. So it's really formulaic. And when we got to tantric, I was like, holy shit. And it was so much fun. It was so much fun and it was very healing.
Yeah.
I know we talked about, thought I'd done all my healing. There was still some healing that needed to be done, and that was one of the big ones, was like shame around that. So it's really opened up that energy to me, and I'm using it in new ways, and that's been really beneficial and enjoyable. And yeah, I look forward to doing more of that. Yeah.
And it's when people can get past the sort of almost stigmas or taboos that have been created by neo tantra, and it's actually realize what it is, and it's a very personal, intimate with yourself thing, and it can be taken sexually, but it's the sensualness of it. That's what most people don't realize because of all the neo tantra information out
And I would add that it is like the feeling of being alive.
there. Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
it's such an alive energy, so it just brings so much vitality to how you look, how you carry yourself. Like, when we started doing the tantric work, I think I said to you, didn't I? Like, I'd walk down the street and then just, like, all these people were just staring at me. I was like, "What have you done, Skeed?"
Yeah, that happens.
And I was just like, "I must be glowing, like, from this energy." Whereas before I felt really, like, introverted and, uh, invisible, really. Yeah.
It's what happens when you heal and let yourself feel.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
magnetism thing is real. I'll just say that to people. Like, you will
Mhm.
become magnetic. And then, like, yeah, soon afterwards, met someone synchronistically. And, like, yeah, I've just been on a bit of a journey, really.
Okay, so you told me that you started to experience shared visions quite close on in the when you started, quite quickly on in the course. Can you describe what that was like and how it impacted your understanding of energy? And just to clarify, so shared visions, we would call one of, for the people who ask, are cities real? Shared visions with people, that would definitely be considered one of the cities.
Yeah, it was pretty strange because, like, it's happened multiple times now where it's like, I was walking through a park and I just got this image that this other person was also in the park. And then I got home that night and I phoned them and I was like, "Were you in this park today?" And he said, "Yeah." And I saw a vision of you being in the park too. And I was like, "That is so weird." And we was like not wanting to bump into each other because of who each other was with. But yeah, so and that's happened like multiple times. Like I've also then said to that person, like, "Oh, it's cool. I don't mind if you don't ever meet my parents." And they said, "That's funny because I was literally thinking the other day, like, I really don't want to meet your parents." So like we keep having these like conversations in the astral.
Oh,
I
yes.
don't know, like
Yes.
validating it, but even when we do like the group sessions and we're all getting shared visions as well, like so when we do the
Yeah.
advanced energy work as a team and we're all getting like similar images, but maybe like you're interpreting it slightly different to me and but it's all like the same content or context.
Yeah.
Like um and what was the other bit of the question? Like how did I experience it or was
Um, how it impacted your understanding of energy.
oh that was it, yeah. Um Well, I'd already like had quite a good understanding of like metaphysics because it's something I've studied quite a lot, but it showed it to me in real time that like thoughts and everything is energy and you can just like tune in like a transmitter to someone else's thoughts and read them and they can do the same back to you. Like you can form that energetic connection with someone and then share information without verbally saying a thing. And like my daughter was a prime example, wasn't she? Because I came away on the intensive with you, and then when I came back, she said, "So, mummy, have you stopped picking your fingers now?" Because I used to pick my skin out of anxiety, and I said to you, I wanted to sort that out that week,
Yeah.
and we did lots of work around that. And then I found that I didn't need to pick them anymore. Not out of anxiety, I think I do it as a habit now, but I don't need to do it. And she said, "So, mummy, are you stopped picking your skin now?" And I was like, "Wait a minute, I don't think I even mentioned that to her." I was like, "This is weird." Yeah. So
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. It's instead of understanding the energy from an intellectual side or a theoretical side, it's actually experiencing it.
Yeah.
That is a huge difference.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, what was it like being inside? You mentioned the group field.
Yeah.
And did the community aspect change your experience?
Mm, what it's done is help show me how, like, groups of individuals have their own force field, like, have their own energy container, like, we do a lot of work, don't we? Like, sending energy into space or sending and receiving energy to each other and create these big energy balls, even if we're all, like, as you say, spread out like New Zealand, Canada, England, wherever else, like, other parts of Europe, Germany and stuff, like, but we can still create that shared container. So it just helps validate that there is a collective energy here. We're all part of that and we can all influence it. Um, as I shared before, like, just being in the group and helping each other out and offering advice and hearing other people's questions and absorbing, like, yeah, that answer was relevant for me too. So you see a lot of synchronicities around
Yep.
we're all going through the same steps, but maybe just like in slightly different ways. So I just think everyone on the course is really amazing. It's just been really nice to and now we're doing the more advanced work as well. It's just that's even so much more exciting.
Takes it to a whole nother level.
Yeah, it really does. So it's worth putting in the effort to be part of that container and then
Yes.
yeah.
There are some very powerful people within that advanced group.
I know. I know. And we don't speak the same language, all of us. Like half of them are Spanish, but it doesn't matter because we're speaking the language of energy.
And it's, I mean, we've got people in there that have done, 15, 20, 25 years of work with different fields and everyone there together, all sharing and combining it. Wow, yeah, amazing. If, even for me, it's amazing.
I know. That's what
Privilege to
it's
be.
like. Humble, right? I get to be part of it. Thank you.
So, what are the biggest changes you've noticed in yourself? Not just necessarily spiritually, but in your body, emotions, and daily life.
Oh, like just so much more present. As I say, not picking the skin on my fingers anymore, which is something I've done for like 34 years or something. So
That's a big change.
That's huge. That is worth the investment, honestly. The amount of people that are like, "Stop picking your fingers, Nicole," and I'm like, "I can't help it." But now I can, so yeah, that's huge. I'm not gonna get chastised anymore. Um, I don't know, it's just like having confidence in the future. Like, I am so not bothered by world events
Yeah,
now that I feel no anxiety what any government says or policy or anything. Like, I feel like so in control of my own future that no other outside influence can rattle me.
yeah.
Um, yeah, being a better mum, as I say, like I am a mum, so I feel like I'm so much more grounded and present with my child. So that's like a big thing that's going to benefit them for their childhood. I'm going to feel like a more relaxed, calm mother. Um, and yeah, like it's given me these tools that I can now use in my business. So it's opening up a new income pathway for me as well. So it's like the benefit, and it helped me meet this guy, like synchronistically, as I say, this partnership, where it was just a bit like, this is a bit crazy. Like we've got so many things in common, and our life has kind of gone on a similar trajectory in so many ways, and we've got all these shared interests, and yeah, so I was just like, it's given me a new relationship, new lease of life, less anxiety, like reduce my anxiety massively, more presence.
So completely life changing. Let's just
I
say it
know,
simply, you know.
and I so much work. Like I've been on this journey myself for like 8 years now, so it's been phenomenal. Like all those transitions, and I'm not saying like all that work I'd done before was for nothing. Like
No.
if people had known me
Yeah,
then, like I'm a completely different person. But it's just been like the icing on the cake.
awesome. Awesome. Okay. Last two questions. Who do you feel you've become now compared to the version of you that started the course?
Well, we know.
We know, but the people watching them.
I know, but I told uh I said last night, oh, I'm a tantric priestess now. I'm really embodying that feminine energy.
Mm,
Yeah, it's like the biggest one for me. Is I've always been a tomboy, but yeah, just embracing my feminine more and being more okay with being in that sensual sort of receptive energy and not needing to be like in my masculine is what's really like opened up for me. So my whole identity has shifted. Um, I see myself as a strong, capable woman that's not like codependent anymore. So, and that's even with all the work I'd done before, like as I say, but it's really made like an energetic shift rather than just like a mindset shift or
yeah,
like a desire to be seen that way. No, I actually feel it.
yeah.
Like I've embodied it. That's the difference.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, last question. Now that you've basically completed the course and having done the intensive and worked very hard throughout the process, how has it shaped what's next for you in your path?
Well, it's totally realigned my business. I know that I need to serve a different client base, so I'm looking to pivot my niche and
Mhm.
obviously, like as I say, the actual tools that I'm working with clients is going to be much more energy focused as well as the shadow work and emotion work. Um, so what's next is retreats. Like I'm not even joking about that. Like I've been talking with someone else about doing one as well. So like, but more face to
Awesome.
face stuff. I want to do more like yeah, in person, even locally around me.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so the niche is going to shift, and I think like I was talking to a client earlier. I was doing a coaching call with them, and this course has given me options. Like, I'm not so, like, rigid in terms of what I'm gonna be doing. I'm much more in the woo way now, like, and
Oh,
the
yes.
zazen and the, like, effortless action and just allowing things to be, and sort of just kind of getting the information from outside of me as well, like, trusting that what falls in my lap is meant to be for me, and what's not meant to be is I'm not trying to force stuff anymore. Much more living in flow.
And I think in the course, there are so many different tools you can use and apply where necessary, especially if you put them all in your toolbox rather than specialize in only one.
Yeah.
It gives you such a huge amount of things to be able to apply and help people
Yeah, I will warn people, you'll do this course and your head's just gonna go
with.
and you'll be like, "What the F is Skeed on about? Like, yesterday we were doing this, now we're working on that." And then you get to the end of the course and you're like, "Oh, it all makes sense."
Hmm. It doesn't feel like you're going A to B to C,
How
but
could you
when you
guess?
get there, yes.
You're like, "Oh, but this is the complete picture, so it doesn't matter." And it helps if you do have some experience in some of it, because it can get quite overwhelming, like, "Oh, this, that." But if you've already done some of it, you're like, "Okay, well, I don't need to focus so heavily on that bit,
Oh
and I
yeah,
can
yeah,
focus more
totally.
on these other bits over here." So, like, don't think, "Oh, because you've already done, like, extensive shadow work, you're not gonna benefit from the course," because there's just so much that even if you've done a bit of it already, like, I think I said to you, because 'cause you've got, like, the I can't remember how many weeks it is, but is it, like, 12 weeks at the start where it's just, like, mindset, mindfulness,
The
heart
very
centered
basic
stuff?
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like the really basic stuff, and I was like, "Well, I don't need to do any of that because 'cause I've already done, like, the majority." And I could just get straight into the energy work, like feeling the energy, working with my dantians, like opening my palm chakras, which were already open, funnily enough. I didn't know, and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's a great course, and people will get so much from it. So thank you for putting it out into the world.
Thank you for taking the time for answering questions. Do you want to, because you said you are a coach yourself and you're launching new things. Do you want to mention where people can find you?
Yeah, well, it's just my YouTube handle is my name, so it's just nicole.shepherd. You can see the spelling there because it's a bit funny, but that's my handle, and I've got my
It's with double P, isn't it?
yeah, ARD, shepherd. I don't know. I'm not a sheep herder, I'm a ship builder, apparently. I don't know. I don't know. Who
Still
knows?
spelled with an E, not with an I.
Yeah, I know. And then, yeah, Nicole. It's just one of those names. I just I shouldn't have called my business my name, but there you go. Um, yeah, and I do the Heart Warrior coaching container. So it is for people that are looking to overcome like trauma, like childhood trauma, um, work through their emotions, stop being so reactive, understanding their shadows, so that they can build like intimate, secure, loving relationships in their life. So whether that's with an intimate partner, like boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, or just like friendships and relationships more generally. But yeah, it's like really helping them connect back to the heart space so that they can live in alignment with their relationships and
Awesome.
wider projects as well. 'Cause it's this work. You work on this area over here in your life, but it just has this cascading effect everywhere else. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time. And if anyone has any questions for myself and Nicole, leave them down below, or you can contact Nicole on her site. And thanks for joining us.
Thank you.